Good evening and welcome to the Drive at 5 on the IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station. I'm your host, Roman. We have a great show planned for you today, but first, forecast from our IntellectualRadio.com Weather Center. Today, partly sunny, hot and humid conditions, high 90 degrees. Tonight, hazy, low 74 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a chance of a thunderstorm, high 82 degrees. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, warm, turning humid, low 74 degrees. Wednesday, cloudy, some sun, warm and humid, high 86 degrees. Thursday will be the beginning stages of a heat wave that will hit a span of several days. Partly sunny, high 94 degrees. And Friday, sunny. A heat advisory will be in effect. Be advised, drink plenty of water, start putting towels in the freezer along with water bottles. Please limit your comings and goings throughout the day. Wear light colors, short sleeves, short. Pets should not be inside the car without any air because it will only take 6 to 10 minutes before a pet dies in these conditions. Do not exercise outside because the heat will give you a stroke. Also, limit talking to people because it's too hot. Check on the elderly. The high will be over 105 degrees. The weekend, Saturday, partly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms. Sunday, partly sunny with a chance of thunderstorms. Some storms will be severe, high in the lower 90s, but the humidity temps will be higher than that. The Drive at 5 is also part of the new Monday night lineup, starting with Becoming Dateable at 11 a.m., Deals Business at noon, Great Entrepreneurs at 6 p.m., New Black Leadership Coalitions at 7 p.m., Dreammakers 365 at 8 p.m., and The Chronicles of Rum at 9 p.m. The Drive at 5 is also part of the fabulous 5 at 5, only on IntellectualRadio.com. Tonight, my guest is an author of her self-entitled book, A Black Girl Once Told Me to Never Give Up. Please give Drive at 5 welcome to Berlisa Renee Shanklin.
Hey, y'all. Hello.
Welcome to the Drive.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it. You already know it's love. I appreciate it.
No problem. Please give the Drive at 5 and IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station your background. You can move up a little bit.
Okay, so I actually got my master's in community counseling, and I went to Loyola University. Before that, I got my bachelor's from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, U of I. And I was on a path of, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Like, what do I want to do? And I know I want to leave a legacy. So I decided, let me write my story to help somebody else out who looks like me, who struggles like me, and feels like me. So I decided to start documenting what it would look like when I was in college and what was my thought processes, what was I going through at the time so that I can help someone else. So writing is going to be my new journey. I'm looking to be a motivational speaker. I'm looking to do workshops in a community to help my Black people.
So tell us briefly about the book.
Okay, so A Black Girl Once Told Me to Never Give Up. It's basically about my experiences as I struggled personally, academically, emotionally, as I strive to get my education from a predominantly white university. The personal issues that I had to overcome was losing my parents at an early age and having to adjust to living with my auntie and her children, and just feeling like I was unsupported, feeling like I just wasn't great in everything that I did. It just feels like my past continued to hinder me because I was like, I had a troubled pasthood. I had a troubled childhood. I felt like I had a lot of emotional issues that I had to overcome as I attended a predominantly white city. Those emotions continued to heighten as I was around people who didn't look like me, sound like me, struggle like me, my skin color. I just had to really adjust to being a Black woman in a predominantly white university because no one looked or felt like I felt. And that's how I felt around the people that I was around, which was mostly white people or people who were non-Black.
So, what was the inspiration for the book?
The inspiration for the book is that I always loved to write, and I knew that by sharing my story, I could help another young sister or brother who could contribute to the solution to our problem. It's hard for a black student to be at a predominantly white university when you don't get the preparation prior to get you prepared for college, and then you have the social issues where you're in a neighborhood where you have to worry about gun violence, you have to worry about making it out alive. So I'm like, you know what? If I made it out, I can also encourage another black sister or brother to do it as well. If I lost my parents at an early age, if I had emotional issues, if I could have went down a bad path and I didn't, and I made it out, you can too. It's all about being connected to people who can motivate you. And I want to be one of those people in my community to give back to my community and surrounding communities and people who look like me and feel like me.
You mentioned in your book the obstacles. You have the personal issues
Yes.
that you endured,
Hmm.
including um, disencouragement.
Yes.
And you mentioned from family,
Yes.
friends,
Yes.
including professors.
Yes.
Tell us about the obstacles and how you overcame those obstacles.
It really took a lot of me being my own cheerleader. I had my family, don't get me wrong. My auntie for taking me in, I love her for that. She kept me encouraged. She, showed me what it was like to be a strong black woman. And so I felt like if she could get through what she got through, why can't I? Why can't I make it out? Why is it that I have to feel because I'm black? I'm from 69th and Dame in Inglewood, Chicago. Why is it that I can't make it out? Why is it that I have to allow me losing my parents to stop me and hinder me? So I felt that my motivation came from within. It really did. And then people along the way encouraging me, telling me, Lisa, you got it. You got the potential. You can do this. You can do this. And knowing that I want to leave a legacy for not only, you know, this generation, but generations that are to come. And when I leave, I know that I have a legacy for my children when I start having them. Motivation was basically to keep moving forward and never give up no matter what I go through, no matter how hard I have to fight. I got to keep the fight because if anybody else can do it, I can do it too.
What was the mental state at the time you was going through school? The mental state and going through so much at the time. Did you feel overwhelmed in your, because in the book it sounds like you was overwhelmed. You overcome so many obstacles, so many, and there had to be some type of breaking point. What was that mental state?
My mental state, I will be honest with you, it was effed up. It was jacked up because the way I thought about myself, and as I read the book, I sometimes get teary eyed at how negative I thought about myself, how negative I thought about myself.
Can you define that?
I just felt like I wasn't great. I felt like I wasn't pretty sometimes. I felt like I wasn't smart enough. I felt like I didn't have enough. I just felt like I didn't have enough in every aspect of my life. Losing my parents, I didn't have enough love. Um, being in, being in school and feeling like I have to really depend on financial aid. Feeling like I wasn't smart enough because I went to a college, a high school that didn't really um, nurture me enough to be ready for this experience. And then feeling like your parents don't really prepare you for racism. I really didn't feel like I was prepared for racism. I felt like I know it exists. I know we know slavery. I know we know all of this. But how do you deal with it in present time as a student trying to get more than you're used to? My mind I couldn't really wrap my mind around a lot of things. I usually would be in my room like crying because I couldn't understand why, as a black woman, I was looked at as Bonquisha from the block, but I got education. Why is it that I'm in the same position as you, but you got more than me? Why is it we at the same school doing the same thing, getting the same degree, going after the same goal, and I don't have as much as you, and I may never have as much as you unless I fight harder? I was in a really, like, my mind, I really thought really effed up about myself. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had low self-esteem to the extreme, and then dealing with untreated depression, taking medication for it, getting up every day, fighting to get my grades, and then I have depression. And I'm depressed. But I'm managing, but inside I'm crumbling. But I know I can't let that be shown because I'm supposed to be with a strong black woman. But it was times when I was not strong. And I had to keep being strong for myself because I couldn't give up.
Were there times that you wanted to give up?
Oh my God. I actually did give up in the beginning. I went to Millikan University. That was my first experience with like a predominantly white university, and I only did a semester and I left. I left after a semester. It was
But why did you leave?
I left because emotionally I was not ready and mentally I was not ready. I could not walk around every day campus feeling like I had to have my head held down. That I when I spoke, people looked at me like I never had a voice or like I was a something from another community or another state or something. I just didn't feel like I was welcomed in an environment that continued to aid in my depression. And I was like, I'm not ready for this. I got to go back home. I got to figure it out. Because if I stay here any longer, I'm going to get into it with one of my own fellow black people because I was already getting into it with girls over stuff that didn't even matter to me. I was getting into it. I just felt like I couldn't connect with the black students or the white students because I felt like I literally was in a lane of my own. I was on a road on my own. Part of that could have been me because I was so disconnected from life sometimes, disconnected from people, my family. And I'm not saying it's their fault. It was part me because I couldn't heal. I wasn't healing correctly.
There's the thing when people say, you know what, it's everybody else's fault, not
Hmm.
my fault.
Hmm.
In your book, you're saying, okay, I'm going to accept responsibility
Hmm.
for this.
Yes.
Out there, tells IntellectualRadio.com the importance of owning up to your mistakes, owning up to your responsibility. Yes, but you was at fault at some point in time. You got to bear the brunt of that responsibility.
Yes. I believe in accountability. I mean, especially as like I have to just shout out my auntie. I love her, Renelle Jordan. Like she always teach me, like, you gotta heal. You gotta heal. Whenever somebody do to you, if you don't heal, if you don't take accountability for your actions, you will never heal. You will never heal properly because you will always be blaming people. You have to take accountability because I say this. You might not have initiated the issue, but you could have played a different part in the issue. Like I could have played a better part in being accepting of my auntie taking me in. I could have just accepted the fact that she took me in. She didn't have to do that. But I was so hurt by what was going on with me, I couldn't take accountability as a child. But as I got older, I realized that sometimes I am a person who needs to check myself. And I may not know what I'm doing, but in the end, I always reflect on what I've done and what I could have done better and what I did wrong. That is what I do. I might not be so good at apologizing, or I might not be so good at telling you that, but I have been trying to practice mindfulness and accountability for my actions, and accountability before how I handle things, and accountability for how I respond to things. If I don't respond to something wrong or jacked up, you won't get the pleasure out of me. But if I choose to respond to you in a way that was wrong, that's on me. Because I avoided you. I don't got to say nothing to nobody. I can just be like, okay, it's cool. And I go live my life and I do what I need to do. I don't have to react to everything that happened to me. And I'm learning that just because somebody makes me mad does not mean I have to react that way. I can choose to take accountability by just walking away. So that's what I say about accountability.
What was it like going to a predominantly white university?
If I have to sum it up, I felt just unwelcomed. I felt like
What was it? I mean, what was your expectation? First, let's start there.
okay.
What was your expectation going to a predominantly white university?
First of all, let me be honest with you. I didn't even know what a predominantly white university or a HBCU meant until I started to realize why my emotions were affecting me so much and why was certain schools so white or so non-black. I just learned the differences. So, with that being said, I was just looking to get some nurturing. I was looking to get an education. I really didn't think about race so much until I actually went to school at a predominantly white university. I didn't really realize how much my race was so salient to me, how much I thought about how I was being looked at because I was a black woman, and how people really perceived me and how people approached me. I felt like I was just unwelcome. I didn't feel like I was a part of that environment. I just went to school. I wasn't a part of the spirit. I actually did not start wearing school uniforms or school rep. I didn't rep my school until after I graduated. My auntie used to be like, "Why you ain't buying no attire?" I don't feel spirit. I don't feel connected, so I'm not going to put my name on something that I don't feel connected to or that I don't feel is real. I just felt like I literally was just getting my degree and going on with my life. I don't know what I wanted to expect because again, I didn't really know that it was such a big deal, predominantly white universities and HBCUs. I didn't know, but now that I have gone through the experience, I wish that they would have nurtured black students emotionally. And also, if you think about it, a lot of us come from neighborhoods where we're not prepped for college. So that's another issue. That's an academic issue. So nurture us, nurture our whole experience.
But in essence, it sounds like it's a leadership problem
Yeah.
and also a parental problem as well.
Yeah.
So, in knowing that in your book,
Hmm.
how can you connect the two? How can somebody say, okay, if you're a black woman,
Hmm.
how can my girl learn from your mistakes?
She can learn from my mistakes by reading into what I'm saying. What I am basically telling you is surround yourself with positive people, black or white. It doesn't matter. You need to learn how to seek the resources that are not there. I think that I can help a child because if I'm telling you the steps of what I did to make it and you see the success, I graduated and I made it through and I told you everything I went through, you might not even went through as much as I went through. But if you can see how I got through it, and I'm giving you steps in my book. I tell you what you need to do. I tell you to seek resources. I tell you to surround yourself with people who are going to make you feel better. If the resources don't come to you, you got to go get them. You cannot sit there. And I also think it's not completely on the parents or us as students. It should be at a higher level. Who's making these laws at school, these policies? Who's also responsible for retention for black students? What can they do to look into helping us be more nurtured in an environment not created for us, that was not made for us, and does not is not on our principles? They have white principles, and let's be honest. It's a difference. I don't care what you say. My background experience is going to be different than a white person because they don't have to worry about being shot by just going to see your cousin on the block. They can go to their block, see their family, and be straight and go home. I still have these barriers outside of what I can control that can also affect me. So it's on a higher level. It's a system thing. Now, I'm telling you what my story is. My thing, this is my goal. If I tell you my story, I guarantee you that there's more black students that feel like I do. Now that the story is out there in the dialogue, let's talk. Let's all talk. Let's all come together. I'm young. I still got fight in me. Let's bring it together. I'll come in and I'll tell y'all how I feel and what I thought and what I've also heard other people say. It's to me, it's a systematic thing too. Our parents can prepare us by telling us, you know what, keep your head up. They could, let's just be honest, a lot of our parents may not even went to college, so they don't really know really what to do. But they can research as well to find ways to support their children outside of what they may know. Because the reality is some of our black parents don't know what it's like to go to college. So how can they give me something that they don't know about? But they can support their child and know that it can get real when the student's away by herself and she don't have nobody to run to. Y'all almost 200 miles away. I need all the support I can get from y'all to keep me moving forward. That's all I need is support from every one of my family members, especially if you're close around me. I need y'all support because it get rough out there when you by yourself. This is what I can say is just support your child.
When you're in an environment, why some I'm just going to telemate this.
Mhm.
There are black men,
Mhm.
there are black women.
Mhm.
They say, I'm at this alone.
Mhm.
Did you ever feel that way? I'm at this alone when you were away in college.
Yes.
I'm at this alone. But you also said you had support mechanisms. You say surround yourself with
Mhm.
positive people. How can you identify those positive people? I can say, man,
Mhm.
you are the best person, blah, blah, blah. but I could go behind your back and talk about you like a dog.
That is why you need to make sure you can discern between who's good and bad.
How?
Now, just think about it. When you tell somebody something, see where they at, see where they head at, see where they're trying, what they're trying to do.
But masses come in different.
They do. They do. This is my thing. You only learn through experience. This is how I feel. I've learned through experience. So what I'm gonna tell you is learn through experience. You might have to kiss a few frogs to get the help you need. And I'm not saying literally kiss a frog or literally kiss somebody, but I'm saying you may have to go through some things before you find who it is. Also, speaking to people, telling people your story. I know that I said just be vulnerable, but not too vulnerable. I just can say that you might have to go through it before you can actually figure out who is there for you. But my thing is just telling your story. That's what I did. I literally just reached out to people, and I knew it when I found out you wouldn't know nothing. I wipe my hands of it. That's okay. If I'm gonna go through something, I'm gonna learn from it. I'll go through it. But what I'm telling you to do is once you go through it, you already start to know people. It's like sometimes you really have to go through a lesson for you to know who's right or wrong. There's no way you can really say that person is right or wrong. My thing is just tell your story to the right people. If they seem genuine, if they seem like they're there to help you, you'll always know a sheep will always show, or a fox will always show is real true colors. So
But
that's how
when
I
you
look at it.
have a loyal person
Mhm.
in your life, why people tend to get rid of them?
This is my thing. I think, and this is speaking on my when I'm like that sometimes when I'm hurt by what other people do, and I got a lot of trauma going on. I feel like it's hard for me to trust and love people. And this is just me speaking from a mental health field. Trauma is a real thing out here in the Black community. Trauma is so many people who have been in vulnerable situations, have been hurt, have been, pained, whatever you may say, they have been hurt. And it's so hard for them to believe that somebody loves them or care for them because all they got all their life was shit. Excuse my language. All they got was hurt and pain, and now they're trying to figure out who really loves me. Sometimes you have to heal. It's just a healing game for me. I feel like trauma is at the center of a lot of our, you know, we got to be all tough. We got to be tough because we don't never want to be in a situation where we're vulnerable. We don't never want to be hurt again. So a lot of people use that anger to fuel them, but that's not really the first emotion that they're feeling. They're really hurt, but they don't know how to express that because being hurt is almost like a vulnerable state for them. So that's my thing. I feel like that's where I'm at with that. Like it's trauma.
But it sounds like, and this is one of my pet peeves,
Okay.
almost similar to what you said, but I'm going to paraphrase.
Okay.
People hurt people.
Okay.
And that doesn't give you the license to hurt people. And I keep on saying that over and over and over again
You're right.
on this show. Because you're hurt, you don't have to hurt other people. That means you don't have to, you know what? You got a nice spirit. So because I'm hurt, I'm going to tarnish your damn spirit.
Not right. Never said it was right, but it is a reality. Sometimes
But why is it a reality?
It's a reality because that's what's happening. There's a lot of people out here hurt. It's hurt go back from slavery. Hurt ain't just from today.
Hurt people during slavery, they counted on Jesus.
Right.
But what I'm saying is they didn't look to hurt their fellow brother, their fellow sister. They turned to somewhere else. They were singing hymns, something. Well, but what I'm saying is, why is it a license to say because he hurt me, I'm gonna find somebody to hurt?
No, I didn't say it's a license, but it's a reality. And my thing is like, yeah, back in slavery, I'm pretty sure they did a lot of messed up stuff to people that they did because it's a mentality.
I understand
it's a mentality, and you can't tell somebody when to grow up. You have to meet people where they are. You don't have to deal with that person that's hurting you. Walk away. But if you love and you're investing in that person enough, and you know that they've been hurt, what you gonna do is you gonna be there and tailor. Is you gonna be there and cater to them, or are you gonna be there to lift them up? You have to figure out how you want to work with that person. But the reality is, trauma isn't gonna change. That person has to get the help they need. It's not right, but it's a reality. It's not a right or wrong thing. It's not right for you to go do drugs, but you do them to make you feel better. it's for you to feel better. We're not gonna say it's right or wrong because people do stuff. Yeah, it's right or wrong, but you don't know what that person's doing it for. That's the thing. I look at it. Now I understand it's not right. It's totally not right. You should never hurt somebody because you're hurt. But the reality is it does happen, and that person that's hurting people is the one that needs to break the cycle. They need to work on themselves. I don't think you should take it personal when you know somebody is hurt and you know what they're going through. Either you just let them be or you be there to help them. That's just my thing on that.
But you help them, they smack you on the hand.
And then
I mean,
yeah,
it's like
you're right. You're right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just really no way to really look at that. I just feel like that person really has to work in themselves. Like from me being, hurt before and finding myself maybe hurting people, I know that that's something I had to work on.
So how can people get your book?
You can get my book at LisaReneeSpeaks.com and order it off that way. It's also on Amazon, but I really would appreciate
look, yeah.
Oh,
sister got too comfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. So it's LisaReneeSpeaks.com. You can go on my website and buy it there. You'll get an autographed copy as well. Or you can go on Amazon, but I really would appreciate it if you just go to LisaReneeSpeaks.com so I can personalize it for you.
All right. And because you were on the show, our executive producer, Earl Winfrey, your book will be featured on our Black Products and Black Services. So people can get the links and stuff like that.
You.
So coming up. So thank you.
Thank you
See,
so
it wasn't
much.
That bad.
It wasn't that bad.
When we come back on the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station, blogging with a purpose to spread inspiration to others, Latia and Evan Williams, when we come back on the Drive. And we're back on the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station. My next guest is the CEO of the Tribe Inc., a not-for-profit organization geared towards a smorgasbord to help people out. And they are personal bloggers giving inspiration as well as financial advice. Please give a Drive at 5 welcome to Latia and Evan Williams. Welcome to the Drive.
Thanks for having us, man.
Please give IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station your background, starting with you, Latia.
Hi. Well, for starters, I am a blogger, and most specifically, I am a business consultant. So I help work with small businesses looking to get their brands off the ground and out in front of the people.
Okay. So with me, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I run an online business at this point in time, as well as with blogging, and I also do independent coaching and mentorship.
So tell me why people are so keen on blogging. nowadays than ever before.
You know what? I think blogging, depending on what you're doing it for, has almost replaced, how can I say, journaling or writing into a diary. Because depending on what you're sharing or whatnot, it can be personal journeys. Like, for example, there's blogs that have like their journey in motherhood, or there's people that are sharing their journey with weight loss and getting in shape or whatnot. It's like their personal experience. But on top of that, I find it to be a bit more therapeutic or whatnot, even as I'm writing. So what kind of just gives me that me time, if that makes sense or whatnot. So I think that's especially with millennials, that's just centering us back there to give us just something, some form of peace while we're maneuvering through the world.
I would more so say it's kind of where the times have went to, is where you have more people that are becoming famous through content. So content creation is now the popular thing. Like, you have people that now want to be influencers and things like that. So I
But
think,
why they want to be influencers? Why they just can't be themselves?
well, it's that's a really good question. With I think we've been, to a degree, like, we've been spoiled to a degree when we've seen people like the Kardashians that, basically have got on purely by influence, where they have millions and millions of followers and things
But
like
what
that.
kind of influence they have?
I mean, it like I said, that's the thing, but like, the desire for people to want to be influencers now is more so of it's an income thing. They want to get the free products that people are able to get. They want to have that influence and that business to be able to sell any product. So I think that that's mainly the key reason why you see so many content creators coming out now, is because people want that type of following, if that makes sense.
So inspiration people are looking for on a daily basis,
Sure.
like morning, afternoon, night. They're looking for some inspiration. What kind of inspiration you guys provide on your blog?
I think the overall journey from the first time I ever became an entrepreneur in general to where I am now provides inspiration, just because when I became an entrepreneur, one, I didn't know much about entrepreneurship. So that was a ride by itself. And then two,
What did you have? Was it self-taught?
a lot of it was self-taught. A lot of it was educating myself, reading, going to classes to familiarize myself with things, because how can I say it? For the most part, big box businesses, we're talking Target, Walmart, stuff like that,
Hmm.
they outsource a lot of services that they provide or whatnot. As a small business owner, you may not have the luxury or even the finances to do that or whatnot. So a lot of stuff you have to learn how to do it on your own. So rather than, okay, let me just jump in the pool blind, not knowing how to swim, I went out to classes, figured out how to do certain things. So that's when I started just familiarizing myself with that. But the process between that, which dates as far back as like 2012 up into 2019, shows my growth, shows the experiences that I can relate to. So when I'm talking to a client and they're telling me about an issue they're dealing with, okay, well, I've dealt with something similar to that. This is what I experienced or whatnot. Let's talk about what you're experiencing. Let's look at some options that we have, so that it doesn't feel like it's themselves against the world, because
Right.
entrepreneurship
Right.
can be very draining or whatnot, especially if you feel like you're in there alone or whatnot. So to have somebody to say, you know what, I understand where you're coming from with this, from one entrepreneurship to another, I understand that. Let's figure this thing out together or whatnot. It gives that hope. It gives that inspiration for them to keep going or whatnot. It's almost like putting gas in your gas tank.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would take it a little bit further to say more so the community aspect of, to know that there's people out there that are willing to, like, what we do at our Behind the Brand is, like, we showcase other business owners and we allow them to have that platform to advertise and market their business through our platform, because we are entrepreneurs first. So us being entrepreneurs first, creating these online communities for people to see it, hey, these guys have information and they have resources that they can give to us to help us to make it a little bit easier for us. And that's really just the key thing, is us paying it forward, like with her experience and with my experience, just paying it forward to other entrepreneurs and letting them know that, like, there are resources and things that they can have to help better their position.
Period.
Yeah.
So also you give, like you said, financial advice. What type of financial advice you give to bloggers, Evan?
Well, key thing with me is I want to be able to give advice for the common person, because
Common broke person,
well,
common.
when I say common person, I mean just the common person that's working a 9 to 5. Because most people that are working a 9 to 5, working a full-time job, they may not know if they want to start investing, where to start investing at. So I have to make sure that it's basic level enough for them to understand, although I am, educated enough to speak, the financial terms, but I want to make sure that I can give them, information that is basic enough for them to be able to start to educate themselves and to be able to start to implement these processes. So I want to make sure that they have, some key things like how to invest in the stock market. If they want to invest in the stock market, what to look for, ways for them to kind of, determine what's going on, or if they want to, if they want to go into real estate. So these are just, things like that. That's what I'm more so focused on, is because, like I said, I want to, my main goal is to take people that have 9 to 5 jobs and to show them how they can start to investing no matter what level they're on. So even if they're on like a smaller level, their income may not be as high. I want to show them that you can take what you have now and you can actually start investing in something, and over time you'll get a return from it.
To me, this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I say financial and inspiration advice is like a diet.
Yes.
Mhm.
You do it once or twice a year, but it's not going to happen. It's just not. You need a lifestyle change.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
it.
So how can someone take your financial and inspiration advice as a lifestyle change instead of a diet?
Well, for me, I think the first step for anyone is to make a serious, conscious decision that they want better.
Yeah.
How would they know better? The phrase
Sure.
is, okay, if you know better, do better, right?
Sure.
But a lot of people don't know better.
Sure.
So what about those people you're saying, no, I don't know. I'm dumb as rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Help me.
Sure. I mean, then that's where classes come in or whatnot. In fact, Evan and I have talked about several times actually putting together classes for the community. Because like you said, there are people who just genuinely don't know where to start.
Right.
If you just said one piece of terminology, they would be like, I'm clueless or whatnot.
Right.
But you have to understand that you want better. And knowing that you want better doesn't mean you need to know everything that comes with it or whatnot. But you have to make up in your mind that I'm willing to do the work on top of that, and not just do the work when it feels good or whatnot. Do the work when you don't feel like it, because like you said, it's looked at as like a diet or whatnot. The problem with diets is, like, for example, New Year's comes, New Year's resolution comes. I'm gonna drop this weight and I'm gonna look great by June.
Every year. Yeah.
It sounds good when you say it out loud, right? Or whatnot.
Right.
But what happens is they start in January, February comes, and guess what's coming in February? Fat Tuesday or whatnot.
Fat Tuesday.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, do I want to stick to my diet and my change in lifestyle, or do I really want to branch off and go the opposite way or whatnot? The question is, are you willing to do the work every single day or whatnot? And that's where it starts. You can start, and as you can say, you can be as dumb as a box of rocks or whatnot. But if you're willing to put in the time to learn, to continue putting in the effort, that's the difference between you being in the same place you were 6 months ago and you growing 6 months from now.
Mm-hmm. And I almost would say, like, are you prepared to put yourselves in a position to learn? Like, so are you willing to take a class and course if it's there? Or have you researched to find out if there's any courses that might be right around you? Like, you don't know how many times I've actually spoke with people that says, oh, I want to learn this, or I want to learn that, and they don't even have any idea that there's actually like a community right around them that's actually doing exactly that. So, like you have to do your own due diligence, and that comes from, like what she's saying, having a personal will and drive. But also like I said, we need a stronger community aspect around these things, because one thing I feel like that
What kind of community as because a lot of people they have classes and
right.
stuff and you say they use the terminology, it's like, oh, you can learn this in 2 days, in 3 days. You say to that?
I mean, like, honestly, I feel like certain things you're just not gonna learn in a few days. I feel like it's more so it's gonna take more of a process, because
But are they being realistic?
That's what I was going to
that's what,
piggyback on.
yeah,
We have to start creating realistic timelines for ourselves.
exactly. Yeah.
And to go further into that, because everything is so instant now in 2019 or whatnot, we live in what I call a microwave society,
Right.
where we can throw the situation in the microwave, press 3 minutes, and expect it to be fixed and ready by the time we open the door back up. That's not how this works or whatnot. For example, you didn't go to school in kindergarten and walk out with your diploma
Exactly.
2 weeks from then. It's an unrealistic expectation or whatnot. That's why I say you have to make the conscious decision not only to do the work, but on top of that, if there's someone that's pushing that agenda, oh, you're going to learn all of this in 3 days and you're going to be able to walk out of here and just be a guru at insert subject here,
that's a pet peeve
run
of mine.
in the opposite direction as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Because in the end, you're going to find yourself being overwhelmed or whatnot.
Right.
And that's not something you want. You have to put
Oh,
yourself
trust me.
put yourself in a realistic
Yeah.
expectation. Be honest with yourself,
honest.
where you are
Yeah.
financially or whatnot, and be honest with the person that's looking to help you about where you are financially, so they can put together a realistic timeline for you.
As a married couple, have you ever disagreed on the type of inspiration or financial advice you guys put out there?
No, all the time. All the time.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
all the
happens.
time.
It comes with the contract, to
Yeah.
be honest. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but how you reconcile, like, let's say he wants A, inspiration, you want B, financial. How you guys connect and agree to just put that advice out there?
Well, number one, we know that the ultimate goal aligns. So it's
Mhm.
like I might be looking here and then she might be looking there, but we still looking towards the same thing. So it's like, we're okay. I'm okay allowing her to talk about topics that I may not care about talking about in that sense.
But shouldn't you care somewhat?
I mean, I support her, but what I'm saying, like, this may not be my topic, so she might not, like me. With me, I'm a trader. So I could talk about trading all day. She may not want to talk about trading because that may not be something that, draws her interest as much. So I'm going to talk to trading to people that I know that want to hear trading. And I know that there's people that want to hear some of the topics that she has. So it's about having that balance with each other, but just keeping a support for one another strong. Because, at the end of the day, even though I'm not interested in the topic that she's talking about per se, this is still my wife, this is still my business partner. So it's like, I'm still in her corner, supporting her and, helping her in any way that I can, even if I can't give her any value per se to that topic.
So vice versa, you will say, well, that financial information you gave, I don't like it. It stinks.
Here's the thing. As far as that goes, when we are literally butting heads about what piece of information we should put out next or whatnot, one thing that we both look for, okay, why is our audience here? What are they looking for? And it may be a subject where, for example, let's say the engagement, like, for example, when Bitcoin shot through the roof or whatnot, everyone on the internet and social media was on this Bitcoin craze or whatnot. Bitcoin is not necessarily my thing. I'm not against it, but when it comes to giving out the actual valuable information, that's where he compliments me, because he's all in with that type of thing. So I may not be as, I don't want to say engaged, but that may not be my strong suit. So, but I know I have to take the back seat to that, because in the end, this is what our audience is looking at. And it would be a disservice for us to ignore that just because, okay, that's not really my cup of tea, so to speak. Also, or whatnot.
But do you stomach it?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a thing that comes with entrepreneurship. Everything that calls for the duty, you're not going to like
Right.
or whatnot. But you have to learn to see the benefits in everything. So while, okay, no, do I like it as much? Am I interested in it as much or whatnot? Maybe not so much. But in the end, what is this going to do for my client? What is
Right.
this going to do for my audience
Right.
or whatnot? That's the bigger picture, because in the end, that's what's going to keep them coming back to me.
Yeah. And then we still learn from each other too.
Yeah.
So, why is it important for someone to follow your advice? Starting with you, Evan.
Well, I think it's more so important for someone to follow my advice is because, I'm very passionate more so about them. And I'm passionate about seeing more people build wealth, and like, it's not so much about me trying to build mine, because I have things that I'm doing, we got 4 different companies, but I'm very passionate about not only building a community, but I'm saying, like, building something and helping them set something on earth today that is going to be generational. So, if you want somebody that is going to push you, not for today, but push you for your children, push you for your grandchildren, push you for your great grandchildren. Like, I'm that person that is going to be, very obsessed with your progress and building a generational wealth and a generational trend. So it's not more so about today, but it's more so about tomorrow and later, with me.
I think it's important that people listen to the information being provided by me, just because I feel like I am relatable. I am the everyday woman or whatnot. And does that sound like a bit of entitlement? Maybe. But more specifically, where that ties into goes back to the whole dumb as a box of rocks thing. I want them to feel comfortable with saying, Latia, I don't know. I'm clueless, that type of thing, and know that there's no judgment there, because at the end of the day, we all started off clueless once upon a time. Right. It's just all information that's been accumulated and stored as life goes on or whatnot. Most importantly, like he said, I want to push generational wealth or whatnot. I feel like the conversations are starting to change amongst Black communities at the millennial level or whatnot. And I want it to continue to further itself, walking into Generation Z and so on or whatnot. So if that is the ultimate goal, to where, I want my children or I want my grandchildren to not necessarily have more,
right,
but know more from a financial aspect or from an entrepreneurial aspect or whatnot, that's why I feel like you should come here.
All right. So how can people get in contact with you on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeart radio station? Oh, you guys looking at each other, right?
Go ahead.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at I'm just EJ. That's IamJustEJ, and that's my Instagram. That's why I post a lot of it, and a lot of the things that I put out there for my audience is through there. And with you?
With all of my social media sites, that is Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can follow me. My name is As Told by Latia. That's ASTOLDBYLATIA.
All right. Well, thank you. See, it wasn't that bad.
No, thanks for having us, bro. Thanks for having us.
So when we come back on the Drive at 5, we will have a performance from the Solstice of Chicago, Taylor Iman, performing live on the Intellectual Soundstage after this. And we're back on the Drive at 5 on intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station, live on the intellectualradio.com sound stage. We have the Solstice of Chicago. Look at you. The one and only Iman, right? Iman.
Yeah, like the model, Iman.
Iman. Why Iman?
Iman means faith in Arabic, and that's my middle name. So,
Oh, okay.
so my mother named me.
Okay. So tell intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station your background a little bit.
My background, I studied classical for a while, and then switched to jazz, and then I decided on this journey of finding myself as an artist and soul, funk, kind of, and then incorporating them all together, just kind of attached to me, and I kept it moving.
So what was the inspiration of your writing and singing and stuff like that?
The inspiration, I would say traveling. Like this year, I went to Africa. That was really cool. Of course, love. That's always an inspiration. Having a muse.
Why love is an inspiration?
Why not? Love is everything. Why not? And I'm a Pisces, so I feel everything. So.
Well, I'm a Gemini. They say we don't get along, right?
No, Pisces pretty much get along with everybody because we're the last sign in the zodiac. So.
Oh, okay. So you're into zodiac, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's this thing. I got a chance to watch your videos.
Okay.
You're so laid back. You're so like, okay, Sometimes. Why sometimes? Because when you're performing, you're in a different world. You're zoned out. You're all over the stage. You're falling out. You're going to woo. You're knocking people out. So what's and then you drop the mic and then you're like, okay.
Yeah. The mic is like, the mic, that too. But the stage is where I feel most comfortable, where I feel most home. It's being in another. I feel like you have to be in another zone. You can still be yourself, but just yourself times 10. And if you are in a space where you are in the most control of not only yourself, but having the effect of others, it's a beautiful feeling.
So explain about your upcoming events. You got a new single out. Tell us a little bit about that.
My next show is at Davenport's Piano Bar. It's July 24th. It's going to be a good time. It's just going to be me and a piano. And we're going to try to fuse all of these different sounds into one show in an acoustic set. So you'll hear some Broadway stuff, you'll hear some jazz, you'll hear some funk, you'll hear some hip hop. And it's going to be a great time. I'm really excited. It's July 24th at Davenport's Piano Bar. Doors open at 7. The show starts at 8 and tickets are $20 and it just went live. So if you go to davenportspianobar.com, that's where you see it. And my EP comes out August 15th. It's called Motion Picture.
Where they can get it?
Oh, everywhere. It'll be, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Tidal, every streaming.
Just look your name up and it'll pop up. Okay. So you're going to sing us out of here?
Yes, with my single Big City.
Okay. While she do that, I'm going to give a shout out. Thank you to all of our guests. and Earl Winfrey, our executive producer, Wanda, who's behind the scenes. So taking us out of here, you have a wonderful week, is the one and only Solstice of Chicago, Taylor Amon.
Yeah, thank you. Hey guys. Yeah, this is my single, Big City. It's available everywhere. The music video is out. And it's filmed in New York and Chicago. Big city dreaming, am I still sleeping? Series is Friday or Thursday like the weekend. Horns passing by is my sunrise. Sleep leaves my eyes I rise. Peering through the window, checking how the wind blows. Dragging to my closet, take a glance at my clothes. Show how I see. I think I'll go with Soho. Brush teeth, morning tea, showered clothes, grab my keys and out the door. Trumpet player by the red light, his drummer is drumming double time to fast life. Big city, bright lights, big dreams to match the skyline. Let the whole city sing. Oh la la la, 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 oh la la, oh la la la, oh. Concrete garden stands all above me. A yellow taxi breezing right by me. Garage to my left, but it's a long line. Sprinkles smelling good, but I have no time. If I can't eat my leaves, at least I'll give to someone in need. Pass the 5 to the cardboard sign that says I just want to eat. Trumpet player by the red light, his drummer is drumming double time to fast life. Big city, bright lights, big dreams to match the skyline. Let the whole city sing. Oh la la la, 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 oh la la, oh la la la, oh. Now the breakdown. Hundreds of people passing by me every now and then they speak. Can you tell me how to get to 42nd Street? Just follow the sounds of the horns. Somewhere is usually where dreams are born. Big city, bright lights, big dreams to match the skyline. Let the whole city sing. Oh la la la, 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 oh la la, oh la la la, oh la la la, oh la la la, oh la la, oh la la la, oh. Thanks, guys. Thank you.